Okay, so this is probably one of the most frustrating things that can happen to you. You're in the middle of an argument, you're not sad, you're actually really angry. Like you have valid points, you know you're right, and you're ready to make your case. But then, out of nowhere, your eyes start watering. And you're sitting there thinking, not now, please don't do this right now. But it's too late. The tears are coming. And now, instead of winning the argument, you just look like you're falling apart. And here's the worst part. Crying makes you even more angry because now the person you're arguing with thinks you're sad or hurt, when really you just want to scream. So if this has ever happened to you, I need you to know something. You're not weak. You're not too sensitive. Your body is doing something very specific, and there's actually psychology behind why this happens. The first type of person who cries during arguments is the overwhelmed crier. And this is probably the most common one. When you're angry, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart rate spikes, adrenaline kicks in, your whole system is flooded with stress hormones, and all of that energy has to go somewhere. For some people, that energy comes out as yelling or pacing, but for you, it comes out as tears. It's not because you're sad, it's because your nervous system is literally overloaded. Think of it like a dam holding back too much water. Eventually, something's got to give, and for your body, tears are the release valve. Your brain is processing anger, frustration, maybe some hurt, maybe some fear of how this will end, and it all builds up until your body has no choice but to let it out. You can try to hold it back, but that just makes the pressure worse. The second type is the frustration releaser. These are people who cry specifically when they feel like they're not being heard. You're trying to explain your point, and the other person keeps talking over you, or they're twisting your words, or acting like what you're saying doesn't matter. And that frustration just keeps building, because you know what you mean, but you can't get it out in a way that makes them understand. And that's when the tears start, because your body doesn't know what else to do with that feeling. You're not crying because you're giving up. You're crying because the anger has nowhere to go. And the frustrating part is that crying makes it even harder to get your point across, because now you're emotional, and the other person might not take you seriously, which just makes the whole thing worse. The third type is the childhood responder. Some people cry during arguments because that's what their brain learned to do when they were younger. Maybe when things got heated, crying was the thing that made it end. Or maybe conflict was so scary that your body learned to go straight to tears as a defense mechanism. So now, even as an adult, when you're in an argument, your brain goes back to that old pattern. It's not a conscious choice. It's just what your nervous system knows. Your body's trying to protect you the same way it did when you were a kid, even though you don't need that protection anymore. Your brain hasn't caught up to the fact that you're not in danger. Here's the thing. Crying during an argument doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean you lost. It doesn't mean your points aren't valid. It just means your body processes intense emotion differently. Some people yell, some people shut down, some people get cold and calculated, and some people cry. None of those reactions are better or worse. They're just different ways your nervous system handles stress. And if you're someone who cries during arguments, the best thing you can do is acknowledge it. You can literally say, I'm crying because I'm frustrated, not because I'm sad. I still need you to hear what I'm saying. Because most of the time, the other person doesn't understand what's happening. They see tears and think the conversation's over. But if you can name it, you take away some of that power. You're still in the argument, you still have your point. The tears are just along for the ride. So if this is you, just know you're not alone. It doesn't make you any less strong or capable. It just makes you human.